I noticed during the debate you talked about capital gains tax, for instance, and you haven't put a number on that,
No.
say, as Senator Obama has. And I think what you said, you want to take a look at the budget. Is there a chance that capital gains might stay where it is today, or do you think it's going to have to take some sort of bump?
Oh, there certainly is, because as I also said in the debate, I am not interested in asking anybody to pay one more penny in tax than we can justify. And I certainly am not going to continue favoring those who have had a pretty good time of it during the Bush administration. I have $100 billion in middle-class tax cuts that will go right into the pockets of the vast majority of people here in Pennsylvania and across our country. But I think it's important that we basically take a look at what we're going to inherit. We don't know. I'm holding my breath that we don't fall into a deep and broad recession. But I'm going to have to deal with the reality I find on January 20th, 2009.
So I want to ask you, if in fact you are the nominee, and do you believe that there is a potential that some of the minority voters might be disenfranchised? In essence, their candidate didn't win, and will you make an effort to do that, for instance, in cabinet positions and so on? I know you do very well with the Latino voters and the Hispanic community.
Right.
And just your thoughts on that in terms of your plans going forward, to how to bring them into the fold and be part of this country, and your leadership going forward.
Well, I intend to have a diverse and inclusive administration, just like I have always worked for. I have deep roots in both the African American and the Latino community. The first job I ever had in politics was registering Hispanic voters along the Texas-Mexico border in the Rio Grande Valley. And I know how important the Latino vote is right here in Pennsylvania. But I will be looking to reach out to all voters. I'm not seating any voter or any group of voters. I want everyone to listen to me, to know what I believe in, and to look at what I've done. Because I often think in life the best way to know what someone will do is to look at what they have done. So when it comes to African American voters, Latino voters, they can count on me because I've always been there. I've been there to try to fight for civil rights and women's rights, to fight for greater opportunity, to open up this enormously blessed country of ours so that people who are willing to work hard can find their place at the table.
Senator, if you win Pennsylvania, which it appears that you will, and the upcoming, are we really down to superdelegates right now? Is that really what this is all about? And the rest of this is sort of going through the machinations to get to that point?
Well, I don't think so, Tony, because there are, including Pennsylvania, 10 important contests still to go. And people are excited. The people in Pennsylvania are thrilled they get to participate. Next come Indiana, and North Carolina. They're excited. Usually when you're at the end of the process in recent years, it doesn't count for as much. So I think that getting more and more people participating is important. I stopped at a diner on the way out of Philadelphia this morning. Met 2 people who had switched their party registration. I meet folks like that all over Pennsylvania. So we are building a stronger Democratic Party. I think we'll be in a better position come the fall election. But of course, we have a process to get to the nomination, and that includes all the different delegates, however they were selected.
Senator, why would you say your numbers are stronger against John McCain than, say, Barack Obama's? It seems that you do very well against John McCain, or better at least.
Yeah. Well, partly because I've won the big states. When you do national polls, you look at the big states from Massachusetts, New York, New Jersey, to Ohio, to California, and I have won those states. And I've won a lot of the border states like Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee. I won Florida, I won Michigan. So I think it's really a reflection of where the votes come from. And my coalition is much broader. Obviously, I'm going to do everything in my power when I'm the nominee to get Senator Obama's voters to vote for me, because whatever differences Barack and I have, they pale in comparison to the differences we have with Senator McCain. But I start with a very broad base within the Democratic Party, and I think that gives me a stronger platform on which to challenge Senator McCain.
Senator, would you say your politics as opposed to the former president's politics, and of course you have a obviously very close relationship, and I mean, it seems that you share ideas. Has that helped to serve you well? And do you differ very much from the former president, your husband then?
We do have a lot in common, but we do have differences, partly due to experiences, but also I have been very outspoken in trying to do a better job in dealing with trade on American standards. I would renegotiate NAFTA. I'd get tough with China. I think it's also important that we continue to press forward to repair the damage that President Bush has done that we're going to inherit. So the problems that I would face as president are very different from the ones that my husband faced.
Would you agree that building coalitions is an area that, particularly President Bush, has not done very well in those coalitions? Would you agree with that? I know that's an area that you
and how do you succeed in America if you don't build coalitions? And how do you succeed in the world if you don't build coalitions? I am a coalition builder. That's what I've done when I went to the Senate, put together coalitions across party lines, passed important legislation. That's what I will do as president.
Senator, one number that came up this morning, I was watching MSNBC, is the credibility number, where your points were about 10 or 20 points below the candidates. Is it fair? Is it unfair that, in essence, you'd use the Bosnian situation, have a singular misinterpretation, if we will? I mean, do you feel like, again, I saw you recently say, look, I'm human, and your thoughts on that, and maybe how do we close that gap?
Well, I think you do it by action, by results. You know, I've always been kind of in the target for the Republicans and those who wish to attack me, and that comes with the territory, and I have survived it, and I've thrived. But every so often, you know, something happens, a mistake of mine, an attack of theirs. But people know they can count on me, Tony. No matter what is said, at the end of the day, I am there. I'm a fighter. You know where I stand. And I think people really are looking for somebody that they know will be there for them.
As Dick Moore said, who won't say he's very, very tough. He said, never count the Clintons out. And I think that speaks to your willingness to fight.
That's right. Well, this country is worth fighting for.
I agree with you. Senator, you've been very good to us. I'm going to give you the final 15, 20 seconds into this camera if you want to talk to the American people.
Well, it is so great talking with you. And I am hoping to be your president because I think we've got big challenges, but also great opportunities that await. And I believe I am ready on day one to be your commander-in-chief, to protect and defend this country, and to be the president who turns the economy around. There's nothing America can't do if we have the leadership and we have the people all pulling in the same direction. So I hope that you will support me and give me a chance to serve you.
Senator, thanks for being with us.
My pleasure. Thanks a lot.